Hello, everyone from all around the world. My name is Kais, and I'm a grade 7 student in Boston. I'm from Tunisia, Palestine, and Canada, and I'm really excited to be here. Welcome to Partnering for Change Climate Action, which is hosted by Reach for Change and is powered by the BMW Foundation. Today, we will discuss climate change with a climate activist and a sustainability expert. We will also explore climate solutions together. This event is probably different from other events that you attended so far because you will also be hearing from us, the children and the youth. Now, in order for us to get started, I would like to invite my friend Hanna to paint us a picture of the future that we want.
Hi, I'm Hanna. I'm an Egyptian-German 8th grade student and I live in Berlin. In preparing for this event, Kais and I tried to think about the future that we would like to see. So here it is. In 2030, we imagine our cities powered by electricity that comes from renewable sources like solar, wind, and hydro. We would be living, learning, and working in buildings that are green and are powered and heated by alternative energy sources that don't harm the climate. We would travel abroad much less, and when we do travel, we would use airplane technology that doesn't pollute, maybe solar planes or wind-propelled planes. We would go driving electric cars. We would eat much less meat and locally produced food or food that is being transported using green lorries and ships. We would buy less things and reuse way more. In the future, we think that packaging should no longer be a thing, and we see zero waste stores in every corner. We also would like to see deliveries done differently, maybe using drones. In sum, we want to see solutions for the climate, and we hope that they can be rolled out fast. In particular, we are hoping to see solutions that can replace meat and help to shift every means of transportation to green electricity and other green fuels. We believe that it is possible to get there fast, and we are happy that there are entrepreneurs like you working on these types of solutions.
Thank you, Hanna, for sharing our vision. Now, some practical information about this event. We will start with a 30-minute plenary session where we'll hear from our two guest speakers, and Reach for Change will also reveal a new exciting project. This will be followed by two breakout sessions that will last for 60 minutes each. One session where you have the opportunity to co-create new ideas for the climate with kids. I actually participated in 4 design-a-thons in the past, and I can tell you they are really fun. At the other session, you will listen to the stories of 3 entrepreneurs. They are working on tackling climate change to create a better world for the children and youth. This one should be fun too. Today's session is about all of us getting involved. You will not only listen to different perspectives, but you will have the chance to ask questions, to join the debate, and contribute with your ideas. Let us now introduce our guests. Please help us welcome Kolas and Tove. Kolas is replacing Adelaide today because she couldn't be here because her voice, I don't know, I think she lost her voice. And and Kolas is an organizer for Fridays for Future in Belgium, and Tove is a sustainability expert at the CEO at think tank Global Utmaning.
Hi, Kolas and Tove. I tried earlier to paint a picture of a better future. What do you think we need to focus on to tackle climate change in the future? Let's first hear from you, Kolas, and then from Tove.
So hi, can you see me? Because I don't see myself.
Yes, we can see you.
Thank you so much for receiving me. I'm really impressed by you two. So thank you. And so the question was about the future, right? Like, how do I see the future?
Yes, exactly. And what do we need to focus on to tackle the climate change in the future?
Yes. So in my perspective, I would love to have a future as you describe it. And I think we need to focus on education at first, because, for example, in Belgium, the education on the climate issue are not always very brilliant. And so, yeah, I would say at first the education, then of course the way we eat, the way we travel, the way we buy stuff, and also the way we inform the people around us. So that's my first answer. Thank you.
And from Tove, what do you think we need to focus on?
Yeah, I think we have to stop the drilling up oil and taking coal out of the ground. So everything that is associated with this must stop. So how do we stop that? For me, it is by influencing the politicians and getting the right legislation and getting the right incentives to go to fossil-free future. And of course we need education, but the time where we still have the time to do something about this is now and approximately 10 years from here. So it's immediate action that is needed to create the world that you so vividly described earlier, Hanna. It was very, very well presented. Yes, so.
All right, so how are you changing your way of living to address climate change? First, we'll start with Tove, and then Kolas answers after him.
Yeah, Kais, actually, when I grew up, the science books made me more afraid of an ice age than global warming. And I'm not that old, but that's the truth. When Al Gore released his movie, An Inconvenient Truth, in 2006, everything started to change for me. I started to get more interested in the environment. And when I had my two kids, the oldest is actually 13, the same age as you, Hanna. I got climate anxiety and I was really, really depressed. I understood that I was going to be around 40, I mean, at the time that I am now, 40 years old, when the decision should be taken that would make it or break it in this issue. So I decided to dedicate my life to contribute to the positive change as much as possible. So now I am the CEO of an independent think tank in Sweden that focus on sustainability and the climate mitigations and the climate crisis. We have launched the climate agenda, which shows the politicians in Sweden how we can be net zero by 2045, which is Sweden's goal, which is of course too late, but at least we have a goal to 2045. So we try to show them that it is possible. So this is how I have changed my life, from worrying about ice age to policy making activist.
All right, thank you for the interesting answer. And Kolas, now you can answer.
Yeah, so the way I started, I tried to put some little effort in small things I could do. So at first I decided to go for a month vegetarian, and now I'm a vegetarian for 6 months. Then I tried to go to a strike, and I tried also to be surrounded by more motivated and dedicated people in climate issue. So that was like the first step I did. Also, I tried to talk a little bit more about it around me, but to talk about it in my way, you need to inform yourself. So in this way, you can understand better the situation, but you can also feel more confident when you talk about it. And of course, I try to do also my little effort in my daily life as an individual, but also as a collective one. I try to inform the youth in a video I made on Instagram and with my account, but also of course with Youth for Climate and Friday for Future Belgium, where I try to campaign and to do a lot of stuff.
Thank you for that answer. And we know that there are many also who deny that there are climate change. And what would you say to that sort of people to try and convince them that there is climate change? Because there is also in my class, we have climate deniers, and I've heard from them. So what would you tell them first from Kolas?
Okay. So what I will do first is talk to them. Try to understand why are they saying this and why did they think like this. I think that's really important, because if you go to them and you just scream at them, or you just say, why don't you understand? This is so obvious. Then people will like react in a strange way. But that's also, of course, my opinion. So first of all, I try to understand the way they think. Then I try to show them the fact, and of course, I try to convince sorry them, but in an empathic way. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, and if you ask me, I do not often meet climate deniers, but when I do, I try to ask them why they believe what they do and trying to find an opening for change. If I don't find an opening, if they are like really clinging to this climate denial, I actually don't try to change them. It's not worth my time. I don't know if this is a good choice to make, but I focus on those who are open for change. But we have to, I mean, we have to focus on those that are more on the front runner and want to be with a part of this journey. But mostly I meet regularly Swedish people that are confused about what their contribution should be in this journey. They all ask me like, should I cut down on my meat or should I stop flying? What should I choose? And my answer is, of course, both.
Okay, and I think Kais has the next question. I think you're muted.
All right. Cool answers. Also, so my next question is, why did you guys choose to tackle climate change in the way that you guys do it? Tove, you can answer first.
Why did I use to tackle this climate change the way I do it?
Yep.
Yeah, I am 44 years old, and my previous education and experience led me up to this position as a CEO of an independent think tank. So from this position, I can contribute and support the government with good policy recommendations and hopefully push the change in the right direction. If I would be young today, I would be furious. I mean, really furious and an activist. I do it because the humanity depends on it, and I would like to be of help. So, and I would like to look myself in the mirror at the end of my life and be proud that I tried to do something right.
Yeah. Can I go just?
Yeah.
I do agree with you, Tove. But also for me, it was not possible anymore to see this crisis as if it wasn't real. I wanted to be part of the solution and not of the problem anymore. And in the way I do it, at least I try, as you told, I use, for example, Instagram or other platform because I think it's a good way to talk to the youth, to reach them and to make this complex topic sometimes more attractive and more comprehensive for the youth.
Okay, I have a question specific for Colas, and that is, what inspired you to join the Friday for Future movement in Belgium?
Of course, like the big marches of 2019, but to be honest, I'm an activist only for a few months, and it was more specifically the way I was blocked due to COVID-19 that made me change my mind. And also another specific moment, I went to the global strike they could organize on the 19th March of 2021. And just the way of seeing those young, like really inspiring, motivated people as Adelaide and others, so many others, made me like the click in my head, and I had to be part of that.
All right. And now I have a question specifically for Tove. So we talked about the way that we think what we want to do or what we think is best to stop climate change, what do you think is the best way?
The best way is to, get the politicians to take the right decisions and to make the correct legislation that will stop us from using fossil fuel and turn into a carbon neutral world. So this is, they have to have, more taxes for fossil fuel, and they have to make it easier to live a circle life. And of course, at the same time, because the governments in Sweden, they are only responsible for 51 million tons. And the Swedes, we that live in Sweden, we are responsible for 82 million tons. So the consumption is also need to be addressed. So all the persons in the countries need to stop over buying stuff so that we don't end up with these consumption emissions also.
Okay, and also for Tove, you as a scientist, can you tell us what the data and science tell us about the future in 2030 and 2050? And will climate change have an impact on everyone, on the whole world in the same way?
Hanna, I work with a scientist. I'm not a scientist myself. I'm a sustainable expert. I just want to make that clear. But the emissions at least need to drop drastically if we would like to continue living on the society that we have today. So we are on a path that will lead to 3 to 6 degrees higher temperature, and even the signs we see in the society today is not good. All the floods we saw in Belgium and Germany this summer, we have them also in Sweden, in a town called Gävle. So this will only get worse. And where we see today that we have droughts, there will be more droughts. And where we see that we will have flood, we will see more flood. So all of the the weather will be more extreme, and it will only get extremer. So we are not on a good path, and we really have to see these emission curves drastically. That is what we need to do.
All right. Since we don't have that much time, I have one last question for you, Kolas. What would be your advice to someone who wants to start similar strikes at their school?
Who want to attend the strike? Sorry,
Yeah, to start similar strikes at their school, like the Friday for Future movement.
Yeah, my advice would be, please join us, come and see by yourself. As I said, for me, seeing in real and get the chance to talk to those people, talk to maybe to us today, is really important, because this is amazing what you do today, and I'm really impressed, by the way. But I'm sure if we could meet in real and get to know all the people that hesitate sometimes to go and get more involved, I'm sure we are way stronger, because we as human, we need a real social contact. So I will say, please come on our strike, and we have a very big one on the 10th of October if you are not too far from Belgium. Thank you.
So as Kai said, we don't have that much time, but thank you, Kolas and Tove, for this interesting conversation and what we learned today. I take from this conversation that the solutions exist to tackle climate change, but we need to mobilize everyone to take action, to want to take action. And the future won't be very good. It would be bad, especially for us who are young people who will be adults in 2030 and 2050.
All right, thank you for all the interesting questions. Thank you, Hanna, for interviewing with me. This was super fun. I too really enjoyed this conversation and learned a lot. So thank you, Kolas and Tove. Unfortunately, I now have to leave to go to school. So I invited Sophia Breitholz, who is the CEO of Reach for Change, to introduce the next section of our program.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Hanna and Kais. That was lovely. Have a good day at school also. And I really want to thank you guys for asking the most important and pertinent questions. So thank you so much for setting the stage for us today. Also, thank you to Kolas and Tove. I think that was a great perspective from, I think everything is needed from the advocacy, activism side to the policy regulation. So I'm really happy to welcome you all here once again. Valerie and I and our teams have been looking forward to this day for a long time. So my name is Sophia Breitholz and I'm the CEO of Reach for Change. And I'm joined here by Valerie Marouche from the BMW Foundation, and she will shortly say a few words in just a moment. But as Tove was saying, I think we've all experienced a summer of heat waves, flooding, fires. Today actually also marks Zero Emissions Day, where we collectively as a planet aim to reduce our carbon footprint. And this week, actually, climate is very much on the agenda. World leaders are at the moment gathering for the United Nations General Assembly, the first time everybody is gathering since the pandemic. And actually, the environment is one of the main topics. So there are hundreds of seminars and events and gatherings all under the banner of Climate Week. And of course, although dialogue is extremely critical, I think what the current climate crisis actually points to is that words are not enough, and we are really not moving fast enough. And that's why we today at this session want to put less emphasis on the words and more emphasis on good examples, collaboration, and action. And that's why we welcome you all to join us for that. For us, it's also really important to give the microphone to those who are actually impacted most by this crisis. And I'm not sure if you all saw the recent report that was released by UNICEF roughly a month ago on the impact of climate change on children and youth. But they came out with a figure that an astonishing 1 billion children, and that's nearly half of the world's children, live in extremely high-risk countries. Now, what does this mean? It means that they will be severely affected by climate and environmental hazards, shocks, and stresses. So in their lifetimes, they will experience precisely what Tove was talking about, heat waves, cyclones, flooding, water scarcity, and pollution. So to take us from this crisis, we also see that we need different types of solutions. Over the last couple of years, we have seen people, and especially children and youth, lift their voices, and we were very happy to hear about the Fridays for Future, that movement. We will also be hearing more in our breakout session from children and how they feel about this impact. But we also need pioneering solutions. And I think it was a great summary that Hanna made there, that a lot of the solutions are actually already out there. But we do need, in addition to this, is smart, brave, and passionate entrepreneurs, because they really are able to challenge these kinds of broken systems. And this is also where the brave community of Reach for Change entrepreneurs and our community comes out. And you will hear from them also in a second breakout that we will have. But of course, as we all know, activists and entrepreneurs cannot change the systems on their own. We need partnerships, we need government involved, we need businesses involved, and we also need the money involved to actually make this transition. So I'm really happy to have Valerie here today, who is partnering with us from the BMW Foundation. And Valerie, I'm wondering about your perspective. Why do you think that these kinds of collaborations are critical today?
Well, first of all, hi everyone. I think it's the only way to move forward. The only way that we have to tackle all of these challenges is together. And there's still so much competition, even in the impact space, around attention, around funds and so on. And we just radically need to move past that, because otherwise we're not going to get anywhere, and certainly not in the next 10 years. So for us, the leadership forward needs to be collective.
Collective leadership. And then I wonder, we were hearing in the beginning of this panel session about what we need to stop doing and what we shouldn't be doing anymore. But I wonder, what should we be doing more of?
I think we need to center around the mission that we all share. And I think it's really as fundamental as saving our planet and having people remind us, having children remind us the future, the literal future that we wanted to bring here, by having children involved in the session to remind us that we have the same goals and we need to act and really not focus on our own individual goals, even as organizations, because it's about, the existence of our societies and our environment. And we're just ignoring that constantly, and we need to again move past the notion of competing around what's not important, and focus on what is important, which is maybe not necessarily who's getting the most attention or who's getting the most funds, but how do we actually get things done? Like what we said earlier, the solutions are out there, so how do we take action to make them real?
Thank you, Valerie, and we'll be hearing more from you shortly. So as you say, the solutions are many times out there. Often those who are impacted most by the problems are actually the ones who also have the solutions in their hands. And for the past couple of years, Reach for Change has been supporting these local social entrepreneurs, and especially many of them who have been working on climate smart solutions. And one of those entrepreneurs can be found in Ethiopia. Now, Ethiopia is a place where we see that we can actually contribute to a green transition, while also at the same time creating more equal job opportunities. So it's a really exciting transition that we feel that social entrepreneurship and Reach for Change can contribute to. And coming forward in a couple of weeks' time, we will be making an exciting announcement about a new partnership that we have to actually scale up that work. And we hope that you follow us and are able to contribute to that work as well. But in the meantime, we have a short greeting from one of our entrepreneurs in Ethiopia, Duna Energy.
My name is David Saket. I'm the CEO of Duna Energy. Our innovation is a stove that generates electricity from cooking heat. The stove is smokeless and fuel-saving. With this product, we can help children and women.
So that was a short teaser of the work of Duna Energy. So as you saw, Dawit and his team are working to provide clean energy to households in Ethiopia. And what's so cool about this is that while they are doing this, they're also making sure that children can actually do their homework with electricity instead of with candlelight. They're also making sure that the women in the households actually have more time to be spending on productive activities rather than just doing household chores. So actually just working on this kind of clean transition has a multiple of good effects for society and for people, and especially for children. And an entrepreneur like this cannot work on their own. They really need support to be able to not only test that their innovation works, but actually support to actually see how this business model can be scaled up. And that's where Reach for Change comes in. And we will be in the coming breakout sessions hearing from some more of our entrepreneurs, the challenges they face, but also the potential that their solutions have, and what kind of support that you guys can all provide for them, and how you can be part of this movement as well. But to actually set the tone for these kind of breakout sessions that we will all be joining, because today is action, dedicated to action and not just to talk. I will hand over to Valerie again, who will describe these amazing breakout sessions that we have, that we hope that you will join. And after the breakout sessions, we will welcome you back for a short summary and also let you know how you can be engaged in our journey as well. So Valerie, over to you.
Thank you. And in the spirit of fewer words, I'll keep this short. We have one fantastic breakout that's going to be facilitated by Designathon Works, the creators place, which you can join if you just want to work together with children to come up with fun solutions. And if you're anything like me, you probably spent too much time on Zoom already in the past year and a half. But I promise this is a very new way, and a very engaging way, and a very fun way to take action and to really work alongside children and youth. And we have some of them here. And I really have to focus to not constantly look at all of the squares with children and youth joining, because it makes me really happy to have you guys join us. So thank you for being here. And in the second breakout, like Sophia already said, you can listen to some inspiring stories of people who are really taking the action and focusing on coming up with innovative solutions to tackle the climate challenge. With the fantastic and very engaging moderator Medea. And yeah, that's it. Enough words. Let's go and have some fun in the breakouts, and we'll see you back in the plenary.
Thank you very much. We are now making the breakout rooms, so you will see soon the the screen with the choice. Thank you.
So thank you everybody for having joined us today for this session. I was just in the session with the entrepreneurs, and we had a final statement by our entrepreneur Wilson from Ghana, who said that if we plant a fertile seed in the child of a mind, in a child's mind, then we have a good progress for the future. So with that, I hope that we have planted a seed in your minds as well. And coming up next, please stay tuned to our coming events in November, where we will be summarizing this year of Partnering for Change series. So November 30th, already mark that in your calendars. And we will look forward to summarizing this year and how social innovation and social entrepreneurship actually can drive change. So a big thank you to all of our guests for joining today and participating. And thank you to Valerie and our friends at the BMW Foundation as well, and our fantastic entrepreneurs, our fantastic co-creation models, and as well for this fantastic plenary that we also had this morning. So we wish you a very good day, and that you take some of these learnings with you into your lives as well. Bye, everyone.